There's a strange truth about modern relationships that many men learn the hard way. She only wants the man who walks away. Not because she's heartless, not because she loves pain or rejection, but because human psychology, especially in the realm of desire, doesn't always operate with logic. When a man walks away, he flips a deeply ingrained emotional switch that changes how she perceives him. Not as someone easily won, but as someone worthy of being chased. When you're constantly available, constantly present, always saying yes, always giving more, it sends a signal whether you realize it or not. It tells her you are fully invested, emotionally dependent, maybe even desperate, and that's not attractive. Not because women are cruel or manipulative, but because value in every area of life is rooted in scarcity. What's too easy to get loses its edge. She may like you, enjoy your attention, appreciate your presence, but she doesn't crave it. Craving begins when access ends. When you walk away, everything changes. You break the rhythm. You stop the emotional supply. She can no longer rely on your texts, your comfort, your effort. She's left with a void where your presence used to be. That absence doesn't go unnoticed. It becomes a vacuum that pulls her focus. Now she starts wondering where you went, why you're not chasing, if you're with someone else, or if you ever really cared. That curiosity grows into interest, and interest turns into desire. Suddenly, you're not just the guy she used to talk to. You're the man she can't stop thinking about. The man who walks away shows strength, not weakness. He communicates with action that he has standards, that he won't tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or emotional games. He values himself more than he values temporary attention. And that kind of self-respect is magnetic. Most people are used to others who will stick around no matter what, no matter how poorly they're treated, no matter how many mixed signals are sent. But the man who walks away rewrites the story. He becomes the exception, and in doing so, he becomes unforgettable. There's something deeply psychological that gets activated when a man removes himself from a woman's life. It's not about punishing her. It's about self-preservation. It's about choosing peace over chaos. And when he does that, he sends a powerful subconscious message. I don't need you to complete me. That kind of emotional independence is rare. Most men are trained to believe they must prove themselves, that they must win her over with constant attention and emotional labor. But the moment he stops trying, stops chasing, stops explaining, he becomes the most powerful version of himself and the most irresistible. Women are biologically and emotionally wired to respond to strength. Not brute force, but internal strength, discipline, confidence, emotional control. When you walk away, you embody all of that. You're not trying to prove your worth. You're living it. You're not afraid to be alone. You're not begging to be chosen. That's attractive because it signals leadership, maturity, and depth. And now, instead of being the one pursuing her validation, you become the prize. She begins to ask herself, why isn't he chasing me? Did I mess up? Is he better off without me? These questions plant seeds of doubt and reflection, and often those seeds grow into longing. The tragedy is that many men never reach this point. They stay too long. They try too hard. They explain themselves endlessly. They settle for breadcrumbs. They wait for clarity, for closure, for her to finally see their worth. But she never will, as long as you're still there, overextending yourself. Your presence, when not respected, becomes background noise. Your love, when not reciprocated, becomes a burden. But your absence, that she feels, that she can't ignore. That's what makes her realize what she had and what she lost. Walking away isn't about playing hard to get. It's about understanding your own worth. It's about recognizing when you're giving more than you're receiving. It's about saying, I refuse to stay where I'm not fully seen or valued. And that boundary becomes a beacon. Because in a world where most people lack self-control, the man who walks away becomes a mystery, a question mark, a standard she wasn't ready to meet. And that's why she wants him. Not because he left, but because he had the courage to. There's also something deeply ironic in all this. Sometimes, the moment you stop caring is the moment she starts. Not because she didn't care before, but because she didn't have to. You were there, always showing up, always trying, always forgiving. Your effort became expected. Your presence became predictable. But when that stops, when you fall silent, she starts to feel everything you used to feel. The overthinking, the doubt, the what-ifs, the pain of uncertainty. And that emotional reversal makes her feel the weight of what she took for granted. Now she's the one checking your posts, watching your stories, asking herself if you've moved on, wondering if someone else is getting the version of you she lost. And that thought drives her crazy. Because once she realizes you're no longer accessible, no longer emotionally available, no longer orbiting her world, she starts craving you in ways she never did before. Not because you changed, but because she finally saw you clearly, for the first time, through the lens of absence. But here's the key. You don't walk away to get her back. That defeats the purpose. You walk away for you, because you deserve peace. You deserve reciprocity. You deserve a relationship built on mutual respect, not imbalance. If she comes back, that's her choice. But you're no longer waiting for her to see your worth. You've already seen it. You're already living it. You've already started building a life that doesn't revolve around her validation. And if she doesn't come back, good. That means she was never yours to begin with. She was a lesson, a mirror, a test, and you passed. Because you chose yourself. You chose dignity over desperation. You chose solitude over chaos. And in doing so, you became the kind of man who doesn't settle. The kind of man who doesn't chase. The kind of man who walks away, not out of weakness, but from strength. She only wants the man who walks away because that man shows her what she lacked. Emotional maturity, depth, courage. He holds up a mirror to her behavior, her patterns, her decisions. And in that reflection, she sees her own shortcomings. Not because he pointed them out, but because his absence forced her to face them. He didn't try to fix her. He didn't wait for her to change. He simply left. And that silence was louder than any words ever could be. There's a strange power in letting go. It tells the universe you're ready for better. That you're no longer begging for love, you're attracting it. That you've outgrown games, confusion, and one-sided effort. And in that state, you don't just become attractive, you become rare. Because most people don't have the strength to walk away. They stay. They tolerate. They shrink themselves to fit into someone else's comfort zone. But not you. Not anymore.